Hi everybody, welcome back to Media Week, Cyber and AI Innovators here at the New York Stock Exchange, NYSE Wired and theCUBE community. My name is Dave Vellante and John Furrier is also here. We'll be here for 3 days of wall-to-wall coverage on cyber innovations, AI innovations. This is part of our Media Week series that we've been doing since the summer. I'm super excited to have Gil Geron, who's the CEO and co-founder of Orca Security. CUBE alum, welcome back. Good to see you face to face.
Thank you for having me.
Isn't this amazing here? I mean,
amazing.
Come on.
Last time was over Zoom.
Yeah, that's much better. So, okay, I'm going to start with why did you start Orca Security and what's the vision you can lay out for our audience?
When we started Orca, we were focused on allowing companies and organizations to thrive securely in the cloud. And to do that, you really need to figure out how to make security easy and how you can make security an enabler instead of an inhibitor. And so when we look at this vast, huge market, it was all around how can we deploy security easier with side scanning, with the innovation of Agentless cloud security platform, but also with context, with the prioritization and the ability to remediate stuff. And over the last 12 months, what we've been seeing is that the move to the cloud only grows and continues. Even when companies are trying to be more effective, they're also looking at their velocity of their engineering. And over the last 12 months, we had more than hundreds of companies joining our customer base. We had more than 300% growth in daily usage of our platform. And even in metrics like, SaaS magic number, we've almost doubled year over year. And so we are seeing tremendous success in the move to the cloud.
Okay, so security as an enabler, okay? This is like a holy grail in security because naturally if I put handcuffs on somebody, I block somebody, I don't let them out of the office, or I confine them in their own little brick space, they're secure, but they can't do anything. So how are you able to achieve that vision? Because it's been elusive over the last several decades.
So there's something around making sure that your vision is looking far enough, and is it hard? Yes.
Yeah.
But it creates a framework for you to think about how do I do that day in, day out, and allows us to do a lot of innovation. So for example, making it easy is also around creating remediation steps. Making it easy is also around attribution, finding from all of those, millions of issues you have to tackle, which are the 10 that you have to fix now, and who needs to fix them, and what will be more impactful. And so it propels innovation, and it creates a framework for us to think of how we are impactful.
So basically you're saying you're operationalizing that framework so it becomes part of your day-to-day workflow, not something that's bolted on, not something that's an afterthought, or something that's disruptive to the workflow, it's just de rigueur. Okay. Let's talk about CNAPP. I think this is a Gartner term originally.
Yeah.
Cloud Native Application Protection, right, is what it stands for?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Well, it means that you need to look at your cloud as an environment, as an architecture that requires multiple tools to protect it, or multiple capabilities to protect it. So for example, it includes application security, it includes data security, it includes cloud detection and response, Kubernetes, and so there's multiple technologies, and now even AI goes into the mix, where basically when you try to put it in layman's terms, how do I protect my data centers in the broadest way?
So there's always the discussion about consolidation, and when you talk to customers, they have a very hard time reducing the number of tools, but you just described several sectors. I mean, people might think CNAPP is just yet another stovepipe in security, but the way you described it, you're combining several areas, application, your cloud, your data. Are you a consolidator of tooling?
So that's exactly our approach. Our approach is to create a platform. Does it also mean that a platform should include all of your solutions? And the answer is no. When you think about platforms is something you can attach on different tooling when you want to have best of breed according to your focus. A platform allows you to make the decision, a platform allows you to control your workflow. And so we've consolidated solutions like data security and API security and vulnerability management and malware detection and many other. But at the end of the day, we also allow customers the choice of best of breed. So for example, we've recently announced partnership with Snyk and Aqua so that you can bring in the best of breed when you're protecting your application. You can bring in best of breed when you're protecting containers. And so that collaboration really allows customers to build a one platform that has attachments that allow it to have best of breed in this area or that realm, in SIEM, in SOAR. And so we have many examples like that.
This is an interesting conversation, Gil, because you guys are obviously the sort of startup, the innovative disruptor, right? Others have take a Palo Alto Networks, big, platform. Okay, so they can bring in, whatever. Maybe they make an acquisition. They say we have this too. I don't know if I'd call it copycat. Maybe you would. But how do you feel about that? Were you first? Are others copying you? What differentiates you guys?
Well, as you know me, I'm a very honest guy, and of course it bothers me when we are investing so much in a certain technology, and then it being copycatted by others. But at the other end of it is, it makes you tremendously proud when you manage to revolutionize an industry and you manage to revolutionize the way that security is being done. Every cloud security tool today leverage the agentless approach. And what we are doing is that we are being pushed and pushing ourselves to that mission, how to thrive securely in the cloud and how we can continue to innovate. We've first introduced data into our posture management. We've introduced AI into our platform, the first, both for security purposes, but also we are leveraging AI in our platform as the first in market. And so I hope we'll be able to continue to revolutionize and evolutionize this market.
It's interesting. So I mean, of course, take a company like CrowdStrike. They, talk about their lightweight agent, but even they have an agentless approach. And they also take a similar approach as what you described, and I'd love for you to differentiate. Like for instance, they'll work with Zscaler, or they'll work with an Okta because they're not doing IAM. So they have a similar approach. Okay, we're going to be partnering with best of breed, and we're going to focus on our space. It sounds like you have a similar philosophy, but you're a newer company. So, but you started with agentless. They did not. Mm-hmm. So help us understand. Agents have to be managed. They always stress, oh, it's a lightweight agent, but it's still an agent, right? So then, how are you able to achieve such functionality without the agent?
So I think that CrowdStrike is a great company and a great technology company, and at the same time we've all seen like the challenges you have with agents, and it's not only around the risk, it's also around your ability to really deploy it and harvest the data from it. And so what we really did is actually we've built a unified data platform that allows you to get context on your entire workspace. So for example, when we detect a vulnerability, we prioritize it based on the risk of your environment. Is it internet facing? Does it have access to PII? And so what will be the impact of that breach? And then when you track back to what we started to say in the beginning of the conversation, it was around how can we make teams more effective? How can we make them thrive? So if they understand why they need to fix an issue, they're happy, they're moving fast, they're doing their business instead of focusing on, chasing the whack-a-mole approach of fixing issues in the cloud.
Interesting. So I mean, you're in the risk business, and when I think of risk, I think what's the probability of an incident occurring and what's the impact of that incident. You're saying you're able to contextualize the impact because you have a consolidated, unified data platform, and that allows you to be effective without having to deploy agents.
Exactly, and even we are consuming data from other sensors, from our own, from CrowdStrike, from Aqua, from Cloudflare, so many other sensors are being used also for our decision. And that's really a platform. When you're thinking a platform, it's not about consolidation of billing. It's about really having the ability to make the smartest and best decisions when you're reducing the risk of your environment.
And you partner, I just was out at AWS reInvent last week, you partner with AWS. Do you also feed things into, say, for instance, like Security Lake, or how are you partnering with AWS?
That's exactly the type of relationship that pushes the industry forward, because, for example, we are pushing data to Security Lake, but we are partnering with other partners. If, even on the main stage with the AWS CEO, PagerDuty came on stage, and the security partner, Orca's logo on the main stage.
I saw that, yeah, congratulations, that was huge. That was like, I think that was day one, that was Matt Garman's presentation.
Yeah, it's on the main, and so it was, and he said that security is the beginning of everything. And it's so fundamental, and so it's not about making your customers taking compromises and compromising their security practice. It is around giving them the choice, but it is also around giving them the choice to select the platform that will allow them to become best of breed in their security, where they want to focus, how they want to budget it. And so that's why we have collaboration with SIEM and Source Solutions. That's why we are working on new tech with the cloud providers, also with Google and Azure. We are leveraging AI in order to give you really remediation code and pull requests, so you can fix things in seconds and not in days or weeks. And so at the end, if your mission is clear and your mission is to secure the cloud, you can do amazingly well for your customers.
Gil, help us understand how you're using AI. People think of, everybody says, we've been using AI for a long time, maybe legacy machine learning. Now, of course, Gen AI is the AI heard around the world, I like to say. How are you applying these various technologies? What's their utility? And help us break through all the noise. What really matters?
We found that we are leveraging more of the so-called legacy AI for detection. It's really effective when you're trying to detect anomalies or misbehavior based on events. Where you look at generative AI, it allowed us to leverage that communication. So think about asking a random question. I want to ask, do I have any buckets that contains credit cards in my environment? Do I have any databases that are publicly exposed? And so instead of learning how to ask the platform, you're doing it in freeform, and we've created a generative AI model that translates that freeform question into Orca's query. And so anyone from any country, like I just did a demo to a Japanese partner, they wrote the question in Japanese, and it translated it to Orca and allowed them to use the platform without us needing, to rebuild the platform for Japan. And same goes for remediation, and so leveraging it for communication purposes is extremely effective.
So it's really a combination. It's the hardcore machine learning is where you really address some of the hard security problems. It sounds like Gen AI just makes it easier to interact with the system.
It is, but it's not less important, because at the end, no one needs more alerts.
Yeah, for sure, and that's what I was going to ask you about the security analyst's experience and the whole SecOps demand for CNAPP. I mean, it's a really hot market. I'm not sure if you may know the size of the market, the TAM. I mean, you must think about these things as CEO, but how does that, talk about the market and how it affects the DevSecOps, DevSecDataOps analyst experience?
So what the market, as mentioned, is growing quite rapidly. It's estimated it will reach 40 billion in the next few years.
40?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's huge markets. And when you combine all of the CNAPP vendors, we are just scratching the surface of this market. We are just at the beginning. And when you and so it means that there is a huge gap in knowledge, but it means also there's a huge challenge in hiring the right people. And so what we've built is a strategy where we are leveraging more of the company's resources, like devs and DevSecOps, to contribute to the security. And so we've created a lot of capabilities around shifting left, around generating preventative rules in the pipeline so that you're avoiding issues in production. And today we have tens of thousands of engineers, not security teams, engineers using the platform. And so that leveraged, it's just a multiplier of the force of the security team, where in many cases it's just a small portion of the organization that we are protecting.
Well, and I think this underscores the notion that security is not just the problem of the SecOps team or even the IT team. You're extending to engineers. Of course, I would argue it's everybody. Bad user behavior beats good security every time. So it's everybody's business. Where are you at with the company? How much money have you raised? What's your status, head count? What can you share with us?
Yeah, so we've raised more than $650 million, significant sum, and we are around 370 employees worldwide. We are in more than 20 countries today, and really our focus is to grow, but to create a lifetime company. If you truly believe that the cloud security market is in front of us, and I do, then and that everyone agrees that the companies will grow in the cloud, we need to build for the long term. And look at what happens in the public market. You are being you're accountable for effectiveness, for your gross margins, for all of the metrics that account for a good, healthy company, and that's exactly where we aim.
Is IPO part of your objective down the road, or?
I think that when you're thinking about a lifetime company, it has to be a point in your journey. And so it's not that I'm going to do it tomorrow or this year, but it's definitely the way that we are measuring our success, and company metrics are the same as public company metrics, because when you do this transition, it's a multi-year transition, and it requires maturity of the company and understanding of these numbers.
Has there been a mindset shift from your part of the world where you originated? I mean, obviously amazing innovation, but not a lot of companies go public. And now we're hearing several, certainly Sneak, yourselves. We'll see what happens with Wiz. They turned down a big chunk of dough from Google. Is there a mindset shift?
So I think that the mindset shift is that we can create lifetime companies. Mm-hmm. That's the mindset shift. And then the IPO becomes a point in time more than the goal. And so
right, it's a milestone to get you to that long-term vision, wherever that takes you.
Exactly, and that patience, resilience, and grit of us as founders, and truly obsession with customers and their challenges in the cloud leads us to a point where we are saying, hey, we should aim for something that is bigger and more significant. That's exactly what we are doing, and it challenges our way of thinking day in, day out.
And maybe all these exits over the years have just been a stepping stone to get to this point, but I feel like we're in a new phase of startup nation, where building durable companies is increasingly an objective, which is great to see.
I'm definitely hopeful for the near future.
Well, thank you so much for coming into our NYSE studio. It's great to have you in here face to face. I really appreciate it, Gil.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, and thank you for watching. This is Dave Vellante for John Furrier. We're here at NYSE and theCUBE's Media Week for Cyber and AI Innovators. Keep it right there. We're back right after this short break.